Hello, peoples of YouTube. It is I, ToaAzare, here once again, but for the very first time yet again. Here with my very first, but my other MOC review. This time it's of a MOC that I had in a video briefly once before, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. Um, I mentioned his name was the Darkest Shadow, and that's who this is. Now, the Darkest Shadow, I'll get into some backstory about the Darkest Shadow real quick. The Darkest Shadow is one of the more powerful entities on Astala, and he also happens to be Joby's father. Joby being the self-mock of ToaAzare. He was mistaken to be a part of a race of demons known as the Koruzaku, but later we find out that that is not true after the demon lords are defeated by Azar going prophet form, which is where he unlocks inheritance to its true potential. We find out that the Darkest Shadow is actually a child of the Forsaken and the Condemned, thus making him both pure angelic blood and pure demonic blood. And because of this conflict in his bloods, he basically goes apeshit crazy. And we also find out that before he goes apeshit crazy, he had actually stricken political talks with leaders outside of Astala, including the ToaAzare race, which was the original race of Astala before Astalians, the new age of Astalians, came and kicked them out. Now, the Darkest Shadow went out and struck peace treaties with the ToaAzare and other races by basically telling them, you either join me or I'll destroy you all. And more often than not, they joined him after he had already destroyed a couple of continents. Nobody quite knows his motives yet as to why he's building an army with other races, but that will be something that gets delved into. Okay, sorry about that, my camera ran out of battery, or not battery, memory, but anyway, so I was talking about how the Darkest Shadow was striking political whatnots with other continents outside of Astala, which in itself is strange considering things cannot leave or enter Astala, except for the Condemned and the Forsaken. But let's just assume for now that it's because of his blood that he can leave. So anyway, on to the MOC review. The Darkest Shadow is a fairly tall MOC. Tall by my standards. He's not quite a Titan, but he is definitely taller than the average MOC. The first thing you'll notice right away is the wings, or whatever you want to call these, considering they do not help him fly. But yeah, he has 2 points of articulation in the torso. There's one way up here, which I don't know, yeah, there's one way up here, and then there's the waist articulation, which can lead to interesting poses and, in my opinion, more realistic posing. However, the joints are really loose, and unfortunately all of my Sharpies are dry. So I cannot Sharpie his joints in the waist, therefore he is usually hunched over. Now, next thing I'm going to get into is this arm with the side cape. It's actually a really simple arm. I was lazy, and I just gave him your average arm, and then bulked it up a little with this, and covered it with the side cape. This one is silver because I ran out of black. So, let's see. Oh yeah, his color scheme is kind of a jumble that works. It kind of adds to his character, I think. It makes it look like he is kind of war-torn and experienced. But yeah. Oh yeah, I loved this. This is one of the, and somebody's texting me, but this is probably one of my favorite parts about this MOC, is using this Karpar head. Karpar? Is that who it is? I don't remember. But using this Karpar head as shoulder armor, it looks really nice, I think. And I love that part of him. And that being his sword-wielding hands, I really like too. This sword, by the way, is a sword known as ToaAzare, which is it has something to do with the apples. I'll put it at that. The apples being the weapons that the Forsaken, the Condemned, and Fantima have. Tartarus, Haven, and the Void, pretty much, is what the apples are called. But this sword has something to do with all of them. I'm not going to disclose that right now in case I decide to get back into doing a series. But yeah. Along with the MOC, fairly simple, I guess. The back design is just a Matoran body piece, I guess. And yeah, it's actually a nice way to add wings to an Anika body. Yep, this is an Anika body. But let's see. I sharpied a silver, I can't think of it, Mask of Light. But yeah, beyond that, it's a pretty simple, but I like it. MOC, I guess. But the posability is nice if the joints weren't so loose. It kind of makes things difficult. But yeah, this has been ToaAzare with another MOC review. I'm sorry it's been more story than... I'm just gonna lay you down. Sorry it's been more backstory than anything. I'm trying to figure out a way to kind of ease in what my mind came up for backstory in this past year, as far as my MOCs are concerned, while still doing videos like this. So anyway, this has been ToaAzare. Peace out.